Okay. Hi, you all. Um, I am going to jump right in, no delay. First, I'm going to check my audio. As you know, of late with YouTube, I always have to check my audio. You know how this goes, guys. Um, we are going to jump right in. Welcome. If you clicked on this video, thank you for clicking on it to get the truth about what's going on. Okay. My hands are literally shaking. I'm visibly and physically and thoroughly upset right now. Okay, so I have my AirPods in my ear. The Bluetooth on my computer is off, but the AirPods in my ear are in my ear with my iPhone just to make sure everything looks good. So for any reason I freeze, which I should not, but you guys know how this goes. With you know, them toying with people's streams and stuff like that, which I have been battling with. And whenever I feel led, one second. One second, guys. I'm mislinking it to the subscribers just in case they don't let people know what's going on. You know, I have to do all the background dirty work because of late now, you know, they're not giving certain streams a chance on purpose, you know, i.e. censorship, i.e., you know, closing things off and hiding people's videos and people not getting notifications. So please, if you like the energy so far, you've been a subscriber of mine for a long time, and you know, now that I have time to be on here and talk about this very, very scary topic, I have been waiting for the green light, which means i.e. me praying to God. When I say green light, I want to explain this because I think it's important, and not just think, I know it's important. Let me explain what green light means. Now, this is a very dangerous topic. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, okay? This is a very serious matter. Very serious. I don't know if we're going to be on here, or I'm going to be on here per se for 20 minutes or 2 hours. In the past, when I've covered other topics of late, it was like, I think at least 2 hours or close to 2 hours. I don't have that kind of time today. I have the time, but with the world on fire and these bills and, you know, me taking care of my health, which means my body getting rest, getting sleep, because as just like you all, you know, when you're off of, you know, I wish I had a sticker to cover this thing up because it always bothers me when I'm trying to talk. And I don't like to see all these different numbers and stuff. I'm just trying to focus because this is a very serious topic, guys. I'm going to let God guide me and lead me to what I should say, because I know that there's a spiritual war going on. I don't know if you all could feel it or if you're aware, but there's serious spiritual warfare going on. And so let me just quickly explain what green light means. Okay, what green light means in my world and my, you know, having the spiritual gifts that I have, what green light simply means for me. And I use this language a lot in my community tab posts where I post things for you guys. I want to explain what it means. What it means is that I have to get permission from not only God, but my archangels that I work with, my spirit team, my guardian angels, you know, spirit team. Okay. I have to get permission. I do not, if I am shown something, which, for those who are just tuning in or coming in the room, let me explain. Let's just put this as a basis. There's many layers to this, and I'm shaking and I'm passionate because I was waiting. I was waiting for that so-called green light and that conviction, right? To come on here. Okay, because I don't like to jump at things unless I feel led and convicted and I have the insight or knowledge or intuitive hit that something is wrong. Like you know, red alert, you know, something is not right. And until I get that full on conviction, I do not let myself be fooled. You know, I do not let my ego or the internet, you know, persuade or not sway me. I know there's been, especially on Twitter, now known as X, the platform that Elon has bought and paid for and tried to transform and is currently transforming. On Twitter, maybe that's Twitter. On Twitter, people by the hundreds of thousands believe that Kate Middleton is dead, right? If you guys are on Twitter, I'm on Twitter. People believe the most scariest things, right? And I'm not lying to you all. I never lied to you all. Everything I say to you all is really what I feel, what I mean. I do my best professionally to explain, you know what I'm saying, without, you know, crying or without, you know, making the video too long, because, you know, some people like short videos, some people enjoy long videos. But when God is convicting me and when I have a download, when I have an insight, I have to obey, for lack of a better term. I have to obey what I'm being shown and what I need to say, because I have a prophetic gift and I cannot turn that off, right? I cannot simply turn a switch off unless I am, it is painful to do so, because when you have a spiritual gifts or spiritual gifts, plural, it's not something that you should be turning off, because especially if it's helping people for the better and for good, you should never want to withhold, unless God tells you shut your mouth, okay, or keep your mouth closed, or it's not time, or wait. So I want to make that very clear, because not everybody has seen a video of mine before. Not everybody, I know, shocking, not everybody's going to know the videos I've done in the past, which is AKA readings, before, for example, Meghan and Harry got married. And I was one of the OGs on this platform, which we call YouTube currently, because who knows if this is going to be a different platform and taken over by AI or some other craziness. But I was one of the OGs, and the real ones know that, and you know that, and I know that. And I was one of the many, many brave souls who came forward and said they're frauds. They're complete frauds. And not that everything that they have said, i.e. Meghan having a mental health crisis, and this is all tying into my message. So keep your ears open, keep your eyes attuned, because everything I'm saying for a reason. There's never going to be any time, guys, where I am saying something and I'm not saying it for a reason. From what I post, whether it's cryptic or not, whether it's coded or not, there is at no time, guys, where I'm going to come on here and not and say something for no reason. It doesn't happen. I am not one of those people or YouTubers or whatever you want to call it that just make videos to make videos. No, there's a message behind. There's always a reason behind what I post. Okay? Keep that in mind. So, I was one of the OGs that came forward based upon conviction, based upon my readings, based upon what I could see energy-wise, reading the energy, that something was off. You know, fast forward, Meghan and Harry are in California, okay? There's been these mysterious things around her pregnancy, around their children. You know, a lot of people have been saying that there's something off, not just about Meghan and Harry, but in general, right? From Andrew and Andrew and Andrew, Fergie's ex-husband, current roommate, has a lot of bodies and skeletons in his closet, and he is one of those royals that really should be in jail. You know, really should be locked up somewhere. And because of the queen, and now the queen is gone, and, you know, who he is ranking in that family, he is still alive, and he is still showing his face. And so now here we have it, guys, where, as I said, tongues are wagging. You know, tongues were wagging, and I was trying so hard, right? So hard to not get caught up because, you know, certain sectors and groups of people love to say that, you know, the conspiracy theories, people that are saying conspiracies. And whether you like Piers Morgan, whether you like or hate Piers Morgan, or whether you like or hate Meghan and Harry, whether you like or hate William, whether you like or hate the monarch, the British royal family and what it represents, nobody can deny, and I want you guys to listen to me very carefully, nobody can deny this time around the fact, like, journalistic peers, or journalists, I should say, let's make it more simple, okay? Professional journalists such as Piers Morgan, who has been very outspoken. A lot of allegations have been tossed around by Meghan's camp against him and other people, groups of people, and he has stood the test of time. And when people are not getting the truth, what I admire about Piers, I'm not saying I agree with everything he says, and I don't know his heart. You know, I haven't asked God to show me his heart because I'm not in the business of doing that per se. I'm not focusing on his energy. See what I'm saying? But I will say that when something is fishy, when something is not right, AKA when the load of us are saying, that's weird. He is one of the journalists, that are not afraid to come forward and say something's amiss. Something's not right. So whether, like I said, whether you are Team Meghan or Team Kate or Team William or Team Andrew, whatever the heck you are representing, okay, nobody can deny the fact that there has been countless brave and strong British journalists who are now stepping forward and saying something stinks, something reeks, something is wrong. Why in the heck is Buckingham Palace and Clarence House and all these little subsection minion groups that Harry described in the Netflix documentary, which I didn't appreciate, because I think that going against your family, no matter what they do, is dangerous, especially if you are so high up in society and you have to literally have bodyguards and security guards walk around with you everywhere you go just because of you having a title that says prince, a so-called prince, right? An earthly prince. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous, guys. And so what is alarming me now? What is really getting to me now? And I'm going to pull up, and if we have time and I feel led to, if not, I can link all the videos I've recently done where I have predicted things. I have rung the alarm way back then. And you know, what the hell's going on, guys? You know, now this is something that, as Piers said, we are in uncharted territory. Very true. We have never seen to date in this modern world, this modern age with technology and all the things you could think of, from, you know, Vision Pro, goggles on your forehead, typing in midair. I mean, the monarch is, you know, so old. And there is reputable British journalists, guys, that are now saying something is not right. Something is simply not right. And that, my friends, is what is giving me pause. Because I am not trying to jump on the bandwagon. But let's segue for a little bit and let me bring this up. And this is just a simple fact. Without even looking at the so-called conspiracies or William, or, you know, the fact that he's pulled out of all these different engagements, let's put that all to bed and let's just look at something very basic. And by looking at this thing very basic, it's still so messed up. And that's why I'm concerned. Because think about this, guys. For lack of a better term, as a metaphor, the tails are wagging, right? The tongues are wagging. It's a metaphor people have used, right? People, AKA, people are talking. People are speculating. Are they getting divorced? Is she in a coma? Did she get plastic surgery? Does she have cancer? People are speculating at a rate that is so ungodly and so untimely and so scary that in my brain, in my heart, this is now what I've said from yesterday, and I really feel this is a truth. If you see so many people are not buying the story that Buckingham Palace, Windsor, the House of Windsor, the relatives, yada, 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 yada. If they know, let's just put it this way, the monarch, the firm, if the firm knows that so many people are calling the kettle black and are calling a spade and are not buying what they're selling, would you not just put Princess of Wales, aka Princess Catherine, aka Kate Middleton, in front of a camera? Like, common sense to me is saying, well, if it's not true, then where is she? Put away the allegations that Meghan put in that dirty book with Scobie, that she's a racist and her and Charles were the racist ones against her unborn child. Forget all of that. What I'm saying is, if you see journalists, British citizens, American people, foreign people, not in the West, across the globe, Australia, Japan, Africa, saying, we don't believe you. We think there is something that has happened to this lady. Either she's rehab. I mean, I'm just tossing out all the things people are saying, right? That are speculating. And the most scariest one is that she's dead or she's been cloned, right? Which I'm sure you all heard. Okay. And common sense to me says, put all that down, lay all that down, compress it, crunch the numbers, crunch the data, right? Make it simple to understand. The simple solution, guys, is that if she was done with operation and she could stand up, she can even walk 5 feet, that lady should have been in front of a camera. And I'm not saying that for to be braggadocious or insensitive. What I'm simply saying is that, and this is not even really my personal opinion, this is more so what I think Buckingham should have been doing for the public. Because there's individuals who keep tossing out the fact that their tax dollars, their money pays for this monarch system, right? Pays for these symbols of head, for a commonwealth, for a country, representatives, and they want to know what they're paying for. And I have to agree, 1,000%. So common sense to me would say, shut all these people up. Put all the doubters, all the confusion, put it to bed right now and have her speak for herself. I don't want an orchestrated press conference or an orchestrated, hand-picked, cherry-picked group of photographers that people related to when she had a baby and she came out of St. Mary's Hospital and her hair was freshly pressed, and none of that. I want, common sense would say, have this lady raw, no makeup. We want to see her. Just let her talk. Just let her explain how it's going, how the recovery is going, what she had done. Don't have to go into too much detail. Just explain. Just explain. Common sense, common sense, common sense would say that she is able to speak for herself. And unfortunately, here is where the fanatic Meghan Markle fans and those who support Meghan and Harry, whether they support William and Catherine, here is where they have a point. To them, and just like Diana, their perspective, I'm talking about Meghan and Harry fans now, those who are anti-royal, anti-monarch, right? The extreme bunch. They have a point. They're the ones who are going to say, well, why can't we see her? Is she being silenced? Is she locked in a tower? Is she locked in a chamber? Did William put his hands on her? Are they in a domestic dispute? Is she trying to leave William? And this is why we can't find. I mean, this is what people's minds go to. You know, this is what people who are not so kind, they will think the worst. And they will toss in Rose, and they will toss in anybody they can find, and they'll say, look, William's unfaithful. William is an abuser. Look over here. They will do that. Because why? The statement and the lack of video, the lack of photograph, the lack of Catherine, like I said, not staged. I'm not talking about when it's Christmas time and she got her Chanel tweezer blazer and blouse on, and she's smiling that same smile into the camera, and none of that. None of that. I'm talking about Catherine being a human, not a robot, not a Ponzi scheme, not a placement holder, and not even a princess or a future queen. I am talking about Kate Middleton as a human, as a mother, as a woman. And that is what we've always had an issue with, is it's such a tightrope. It's so controlled. It's so strange. And the protocol and the XYZ and the bourgeoisie, we want them to be able to speak for themselves. And I have to take it here. This is why to this day, I can proudly say that I was one of the many few who stuck to my guns and said that I do believe, and yes, Harry played a part. Of course, Harry played a part. But I was one of the many few who stood up for my conviction and said, actually, yeah, she could be a liar. Yeah, she could be, into voodoo, which she is. And I spoke about that this morning. And everything else. It does not negate the fact that when she said that she was going to take her own life, and that when she went to who knows what and God knows what, and they didn't have any real solution for her, I believe that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying she's a full-on liar. We're not trying to gossip here. I'm not in the business of doing that, because I know who God is, right? And what I'm simply saying to you all, what I'm simply trying to say to you all is that two things can be true at the same time. You know, two things can exist and be true at the exact same time. On one hand, you could say Meghan is a C or D-list actress, social climber, whatever. And on this exact same opposite of the scale, we could say, oh, yeah, she has mental health issues. Oh, yeah, she had a hard time being a duchess, okay, a royal, a working royal, a senior royal. Oh, yeah, when she tried to get help, Harry was so delusional, and Harry was so selfish, and Harry was such a I don't want to say the word what I want to say. Harry was so useless, right, that she was not able to get the tools and the help she needed to not have depressive, negative, dark, vile thoughts to take her own life. The two can be true, guys. And I, to this day, I'm not saying 100%. I'm saying to some degree, I believe that. I do believe that she could not handle it. Because why? Because why? She was not built for that. She was a working woman, feminist, trying to be an actress, right? Live out her dreams, went to university. I mean, nothing about how she thinks or what she believes would lead me to think that she wants to be cooped up somewhere being told what to do. And you could be for or against the royal family all you want, but sadly, because of the situation, guess what? The haters are going to win, and they're going to have some validity to what they're saying, because guess what? We all know that it's a very controlled operation. So with that said, now here we have it. The media and the powers that be tried to pose it like this man died in his sleep. Thomas Kingston or Kensington, however the heck you say his last name, whatever. Okay, Kingston, right? Ston. They posted and made it seem like he died in his sleep. Like he had some kind of illness. And out of nowhere, he didn't recover. And come to find out, a couple minutes ago, the news has broke that he was found somewhere outside or near some kind of property with an inflict to his head. Like, let me actually read exactly what Twitter put. 1 second. They put this here. 1 second. Oh my God, guys, this is crazy. I'm gonna read it to you here, right? I'm actually gonna share this right now on Twitter. 1 second. 1 second, guys. One second, guys. I'm just gonna upload this. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, here it is. So now they're saying that he passed from a traumatic head wound and a gun was found near his body. Now, the oldest trick of time, okay? The oldest, and I mean the very oldest, the oldest trick of time is to say that a person took their own life when in reality someone took their life and placed the weapon of choice adjacent or nearby or kind of far from their body. Okay, that is like the oldest trick in the book. And so immediately my intuition says to me that may not be the truth. This is the same guy we're talking about here who was Pippa Middleton's ex-boyfriend. So, and then around the same time, Pippa is on vacation, flossing and raving her bikini, which is crazy to me. Coincidentally, William shows with these bruises, this weird discoloration on his neck, and acting quite coy, acting quite weird, his body language, something's off. And then this. So common sense, right? Common sense to me says that Catherine needs to be able to speak and to show herself, because at this rate, okay, at this rate, I am not convinced, right? I'm really not convinced that all is well. And it brings to me more questions than answers. Something very dark is going on, right? That's just the bottom line. There is a spiritual darkness that is hovering, right? And the life that, especially with King Charles now, formerly Prince Charles, the life, okay, the life that many people allege against the royals, and, in terms of Freemasonry and all types of different things, and occult and this and that, and this and that, this, that. In my heart of hearts, I would like to think that when Catherine married William, and a lot of those women are lamb to the slaughter, let's be very clear, okay? Quote unquote, they're going into the family, they're marrying for love, yada, yada, yada. But the sad truth remains, the very, 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 very sad truth remains that they're like lamb to the slaughter. And every single time I hear a British journalist refer to the situation at hand and say, Diana was once the most photographed, most popular woman on the planet, it gives me chills, because the business of it all, the bare bones, sickly business of it all. And, as a quote goes, the higher they rise, the harder they fall. Because with that kind of influence and power, and as we can even say beauty or attractiveness, or people's curiosities piqued about you or piqued about a certain individual, they will obviously automatically assume that they are right, and that this person needs to be protected, and that this person is like a lamb to the slaughter. And so for me, there's too many strange things happening. There's far too many eerie things happening. Far too many. And in a recent video that I did where I was speaking about the Scobie book allegations, you can find it in my royal family playlist. It will be there. And I said specifically in that video that I feel so strongly that if anything happens to Catherine, that is the end of this family as we know it. And I was saying how if William's smart, if William knows any better, he will do right by her. He will feed her grapes. He will massage her feet. I said this in that previous video. And so fast forward to this nonsense now, I'm saying the track record, right? What happened to Diana after Meghan's complaints and dissatisfaction with being a part of that family and living in London and everything else that came with it. Why would they mess this up? Why would they, the perfect English rose, which is aka Kate Middleton, and that world, in that realm, why would they now mess this up? Why would they? And I think that so far how everything has been handled is working not in their favor. It's not working in their favor, guys. And I think that common sense would have it that the truth of the matter needs to come out. But I also feel so deeply that the kind of, it's obviously fake evil power, but the kind of power that the firm possesses, they may think that they are, too big for the truth, that they can pull so many strings and pay so many people and pay so many people off that no one's going to notice, no one's going to say anything. And the fact that this has triggered the exact opposite is astounding to me. People are not buying it. They're not settling for a simple black and white, English style font explanation of surgery or recovery. People are not buying it. Most people are saying, and stress. Let's put that into play, guys. Stress plays a big part into being ill, disease, dis-ease. So in crime films, in history, in American history, British history, celebrity, tragedies, things of that nature, it's very common that when something is planted, it is like very predictable. They will place certain items, certain places to make it look like that. Doesn't mean that that person actually did that. There could have been a hitman or hitwoman, or there could have been something more sinister. Okay. And that's fairly young. 45 years old is fairly young, guys. So there's not really much of a good enough reason to me. And even if that was the case, happy, whole, healthy individuals don't take their own life, hypothetically, right? If someone's in a very, 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 very dark place, which happens to the best of people, that's what that brings. But if someone is healthy and whole and sound and feels safe and life is going good and yada, 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 you don't see people that are genuinely wanting to live take their own life. You don't see that happening. So to me, I feel like there is some explaining to do. Absolutely. There is some explaining, and it's not gonna be good enough to me to see his ex-wife appear at some funeral or some, event and wipe a tear or wear a fancy royal hat, and the paparazzi and whatnot are going to get a side profile of her and try to, catch angles. That's not good enough. If that is the case, why can't she speak? And now, why can't these people? And I know people are going to say, oh, protocol, but we're talking about human life. We're not talking about a robot. We're talking about people that are supposed to have feelings, that are humans, that are going through a tough time. And with all that the public is now knowing about so many things, you would think that they would play a better hand with the cards they've been dealt. And so sadly, it does give, the fanatics ammo to bring back up allegations of cheating and bring up allegations of secret societies and all the rest of it. It's opening Pandora's box, so to speak. And, I have my own life. You all have your own life. I'm going to get off her soon. I got things to do. And Catherine has children. She has a lot of children. And regardless of the disaster and the turmoil that's happening in that family. Being a mother, okay, being a mother, having to care for your kids, is not a small feat. And yes, some people that are haters are going to say, oh, well, they have butlers, they have this, they have that. What I mean is the presence of the mother is what I'm trying to say. The presence of the mother and the impact that the mother brings to the table. And if anybody wants to debate that and belittle that, well, according to what the Harry and Meghan fanatic fans say, what do they always go back to? Guys, what do they always go back to? They always go back to the fact that Harry was so damaged because of Diana's death, right? No matter how old this guy is, no matter what this guy goes on to do, no matter who he married, it always goes back to he lost his mom. So don't tell me that not having a mom or not having a good mom or not having a mom alive doesn't affect somebody. It does. So with that said, that is why amongst all the speculation, I could say confidently that a good person will want what's best for those children. And I am not going to speculate. I'm not even going to give energy to this Rose thing because that's been old, and I know where that came from, and I've been spoke on that. Okay, and you'd have to be woefully ignorant to not know where that rumor came from, and who planted it and why it was said. Really, and that's not even the point. That lady is married. Okay, the lady they keep bringing up with William, that's Catherine, either current friend or ex-friend. She's married, guys. If people don't know that, she's actually married. So spare me, please. You know what I'm saying? Like Camilla, Diana, Charles, we've already been through all of that. Stop trying to recreate negative storylines. Let's focus on the present, the here and now. And what needs to happen is those children getting their mom back, restored, healthy, full, happy. And whatever kind of attack or spiritual attacks or whatever, because she is being spiritually attacked, and I've been spoken about this. Catherine is a huge target for many individuals that want to see her fail, that want to see her tormented. And it's spiritual, guys. It's spiritual. You don't have to love or hate any of these people, but understand the level of not just evil eye, but ill intent, word curses, that people that don't even know these people are putting on other people. Like, no matter what I think deep, which I don't have much deep there with Meghan and Harry, it is what it is, that ship has sailed. I would never then therefore speak, unlively words about them. But make no mistake, there is people who are speaking death over Catherine as I speak. There is people who want to see her perish, who want to see her and William break up, because they get high off of that kind of supply. They enjoy seeing families break up. They enjoy seeing people sick. Some people are sick individuals themselves. They're unhappy themselves, and they want to see people in shame. But remember, guys, God is not a God of shame. There is a thing called forgiveness. There is a thing called repentance. And so nobody should wish anything bad against anybody. I am just simply shining a light on some strange things that I feel need explanation, and like I said, not a staged explanation, a real explanation from the people themselves without all this setup. And yeah, if Catherine, let's say, one of the worst case scenarios, if Catherine doesn't want to be married anymore, or, she could have stumbled upon something she wasn't supposed to see, or she didn't quite like, and now her life is in danger, shouldn't Catherine have the say to get out of that or to be free? Why should she be the next lamb to slaughter? Why, and that's what people have a problem with. People have a problem. It's a very weird situation, because the way that Meghan and Harry have lived their lives, it comes across like they're celebrities, and every now and then when they're getting an award or there's some kind of gala or event is when people say, oh my gosh, they're not just celebrities. This is a prince. This is somebody supposed to be tied to a very powerful family, influencing millions, supposed to be helping people, standing up for causes, certain causes. And we're getting Netflix, and we're getting nightclubs, and we're getting, movie premieres, and, we're not getting things that are being represented as a royal per se. Meghan and Harry are more so parading as celebrities. So anyway, I think I've said enough. It's questionable. The classic okie dokie is when you take somebody's life, you set up the scenery. You put certain objects and certain people to give false testimonies. Guys, it's very fishy, okay? I'll just put it that way. It's very fishy. And with that said, I am not going to bandwagon with Harry and Meghan, because why would I do that? They can speak for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Their actions speak for themselves. People will agree, people will disagree, but I don't worship man, right? I answer God. I don't answer to nobody but God and my conscience and my heart and what I feel. And get that straight. I don't answer to nobody. I don't speak for nobody else but my own conviction, with my own spirit team, and what I feel. I never have come on here, especially when it comes to royals. I've never, ever, 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 and will never come on here and speak for any other YouTuber out here, any other journalist out here. I don't listen, because I don't know their heart. I don't know their heart. I don't know their intention, right? I'm not here as a spokesperson for any particular group or any particular person. Let's get that straight. I'm here convicted, saying something is wrong. And if they were smart, Catherine would have been spoken and not staged. She would have been like, if I was in her shoes and I'm seeing so many people concerned about me, you're telling me that she can't do a video from her hospital bed? She can't pop open her iPhone or whatever phone they got, and she can't just speak to the people? They can't live stream it on, KensingtonPalace.com. They can't. You're telling me that she can't even speak like a human. She can't be a human and say, guys, don't worry, I'm okay, I'm here. I'm here. And but it's the secrecy that's backfiring, because of course they're going to say, oh, well, she has the right to privacy. But it's not just about privacy now. We're seeing multiple red flags, right? The public is seeing multiple red flags. And so people have the right to speculate. It may be seen as positive or negative, don't really matter. People are concerned. So, of course, in a perfect world, we have Catherine being herself, not a puppet, not a trained royal. We're seeing Catherine be herself. But sadly, that is not the institution that she is in. And this is why people that are fanatics of Diana and Meghan can say what they're saying now, because all they're going to say is, well, look at what happened to Diana. That's the key phrase they throw out here is, well, look what happened to Diana. Look how they took Diana's life. Look at how they staged that. Look at how, they're not even giving people the pushback, right, to prove differently, because of the secrecy, because of the way it's been handled. So that's on them. That's on how they've chosen to reveal certain bits and bobs of information that may or may not be accurate. So it doesn't help. And I hate to bring this up again, but it does not help when there's certain individuals who are so convinced that Catherine and William are having marital issues, because I've been hearing that too, and very negative. It doesn't stop people from saying, oh yeah, she wants to leave him. They were perfectly fine, right? Perfectly fine December, Christmas, the whole year. But now all of a sudden, she wants to run away. Runaway bride. Now all of a sudden, she is in confinement. You see how the language has changed? Off of one story, now people are saying the most damnable thing. Why? Because they've given them the ammo. When you fail to be upfront and authentic and honest with the public, that ammo is that ammo is literally turned the other way, and they inflict that same wound in their foot. They basically trip up themselves. So Catherine's soul's on the line. And I can recall recently when I did the last recent video, and I came on here and I told you guys that, and I've been saying this for a while now, and I've been saying how Catherine is consistently losing so much weight. You know, Catherine is consistently losing so much weight. And I've come on here, guys, countless times, and I've not tried to, for the record, I have not tried to stir anything up, because I believe, and listen to me very carefully, I do believe that gossip is a sin. You know, I'll be more personal. I was watching some videos yesterday night, just happened to come across it, of people who are ex-devil worshipers. You heard that correct? Ex-devil worshipers. And they went to hell. Medically, they were dead and went to hell. And they explain all the levels of hell. I don't want to go there, folks. And maybe another time, another day, I will share. I've had visions of heaven. I've had supernatural experiences when I was very, very young, by the blood and grace of Jesus Christ and God. And I'm not going there, guys. I hate to burst any demonic person bubble, but I'm not going to hell. And I hope you guys don't go to hell either. And I don't want Megan to go to hell. No matter how much voodoo she's into, I don't want her to go to hell. I don't want Harry to go to hell either, because guess what? Listen very carefully, guys. A bitter heart cannot see the face of God. Understand that. If you haven't heard nothing else in this video, a bitter heart, an unforgiving heart cannot see the face of God, cannot have mercy, because God says strictly, if you do not forgive those, I cannot forgive you. You cannot ask for my forgiveness and my salvation, but then you cannot forgive another person. And that's why I kept saying constantly that Harry needs to be careful, because he doesn't know when his time is up. And I'm not proclaiming nothing on him, but Harry, little old Harry, the spare as he calls himself, which is a negative term. He should never call himself a spare. He should never call himself that. But see, that's how little he thinks of himself, guys. That's how low. Cam back. That is how low, guys. And I want you to really hear this good, because this is like the most important takeaway. And I've done this message before, but it's coming up again. That is how low Harry sees himself. He is so bitter, and I'm not, like I said, we're not gossiping. It's a fact. He has so much unforgiveness harboring in his heart that he doesn't know any better. He doesn't. Why? Because he's spiritually blindfolded. That's why. So I know where I'm going to end up, guys, and I'm not trying to, I know where I'm going. I'm sorry. I'm not joining these Luciferians. I'm not going with them. I'm not, you're not going to see me there. Okay? You're not going to see me there. And that's why, by the grace of God, I try to come on here and say to Harry, get right with God and stop pointing the finger. Because if you do believe in God, you do believe anything bigger than you, a so-called creator, source, what you want to call the universe, okay? If Harry even had an inkling of what God is, he would believe, and wholeheartedly, he would believe that his mother, that he keeps bringing up all the time, Diana, he would believe that she's in a better place, would he not? If you, once again, going back to conviction, if you believe in let's use a secular term, a higher power, a higher power, right? You would have pure heart, and you would know that your mother's in a better place if that's what he believed in his heart. And see, when you don't believe that in your heart, that's why you stay bitter. Because when someone you love passes away, you don't think of heaven. You don't think of redemption. You don't think of retribution. You don't think of forgiveness. You think of, oh, look what they did to my mom. Oh, I had such a hard childhood. Oh, you live in the past. And hear me good, guys. People like that do not have a prosperous life. And they live every day in shame. And they live every day in bitterness. And they live every day with a heavy, heavy heart. And even in Egyptian texts, if you want to, let's go deeper, even in Egyptian spiritual texts, they say that your heart has to be light as a feather. And listen carefully, guys. Light as a feather to make it, in their language, the afterlife, right? The afterlife. Same thing, okay? Which means you cannot die with all this baggage. It has to have somewhere to go. You cannot rest your head every night, grinding your teeth, wishing evil on people, doing voodoo, doing Santeria. No. You cannot do that, guys. You cannot do that. So when I talk about Harry and Meghan, I'm not saying things just, like I said to you at the beginning of the video, I do not say things just to say things. There is a deeper message. There's a deeper context that people that are they're not spiritually attuned are not understanding. Okay? There's clearly some kind of satanic dark energy in that family, and I prove it. Andrew, Fergie now has skin cancer. Charles now has cancer. Do you guys think that cancer is from God? Answer my question. Do you think that cancer is a gift from God? It's not. In fact, some people would say that cancer is a curse, is a generational blood curse. And listen good. This is nothing to play with. This is spiritual warfare. So understand what I'm saying. Understand what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. This is a spiritual war. And this is why when Harry and Meghan are up to their antics, as well as the media, this is why I get upset, because they're missing the point. They're missing the point. The point is that their soul is on the line. Let's be very clear. Their soul is on the line. And when you worship money and you worship status, which Meghan has done on several occasions, and you don't put God first and you don't give back, and all you do is say, gimme, 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 guess what? It's like having hell on earth. Listen carefully, ladies and gentlemen. It is like having hell on earth. Why? Because your conscience is not clear. Okay, and let's take it, if you want to make it secular, and even in Buddhism, I'm tying it all together, guys. Pay attention. Even in other Eastern religions, Eastern texts, they say, right, that if you harbor certain emotions, your body will get sick. Your body will get sick. So do you think that all these people in the Windsor family having cancer is by coincidence? No, people. It's not a coincidence. And we still don't even know. I've even heard people say that Catherine had a miscarriage. This has gone so far. I have actually seen people say that they think that she had a miscarriage and that she was pregnant, December 2023. Some people have even thought that she was pregnant, and the reason why she's there is because she had a miscarriage in addition to the abdominal surgery. So do you see this web? Do you guys see spiritually? And I hope you see it. Do you guys see spiritually the word curses, the incantations, the negative word curses that people that don't even know this lady and are judging her, which they should never do, are putting on her spirit? What if she is in a coma? What if she was in a coma? Are we going to know what she saw? Is she going to be able to speak out and say what she saw in that coma? I would like to know. And that is a problem that I have. That is the problem, guys, that I have, because as a human, as a mother, as a woman, you should be able to speak your mind. So this is why I'm saying, guys, it's very dangerous territory. Because all we have to say is, well, the protocol would not allow that. That's all they got to say. All they got to say is, well, we don't do that here in the British royal family. We don't do that. We don't have those kind of tricks and things. We don't do that. We don't get it. We don't engage in that. We don't engage in truth telling, right? You have to pick certain handpicked people to ask certain handpicked questions that, of course, are premeditated. You know, it's a setup, guys. It's a setup. It's a setup. So I encourage you all, be very careful, okay? When you watch certain videos, when you tap certain posts and all that, do not out of your mouth speak death on anyone, because it will return tenfold. I don't care how much you like or dislike a person. Never wish death on anybody. That is very low, in fact. And, you know, like I said, regardless of who you like in the royal family, from what you don't like, from what, you know, maybe you just like Meghan and Harry, but you don't like the royal family, whatever. Do not wish death on anyone. Because as the Holy Word said, if you don't ask for forgiveness and you don't show mercy to people, God cannot show mercy to you. And it's easier said than done, guys. It's easier said than done. I know that. Trust me, I know. Right? I'm not just blowing hot air in you guys' face. I know. I know it's hard when you've been betrayed and you've been backstabbed and you've been lied on. How hard it is to say, oh, you know, God, I forgive this person. You know, I don't want them to be in damnation. I don't want them to have a bad. That takes spiritual maturity. And with that said, if Meghan is who she thinks she is, she should be reaching out to her sister-in-law, right, guys? If Meghan is who she claims to be, she should be one of those people who are, should I even say, at her bedside? If she's even real and alive, I'm going to go there. Should she not be concerned? I know if you know, and like I said, we're not them, but I'm just saying, would you not want to be at your sisters-in-law's side with flowers or something, or a prayer, or would you not want to be there? And I don't care how many people in England or whatever the heck they keep saying. I don't care. I don't care about this negativity, guys. Oh, well, she's not welcome. Who cares? Who cares? This is your sister-in-law, but oh, I almost forgot. Didn't forget. I'm being sarcastic. This is the same lady. This is the same lady who opened the door for her to be spiritually attacked. Why? Because she told the whole world that her sister-in-law is a racist. That's why. That's why. So with all the proof and all the context and everything I've told you guys today, you make your own conclusion. I'm not in the business of speaking for anybody. Like I've said the third time now. I'm not in the business of trying to convince you of anything. What I predict, what I say, what I see is proven every time. So I don't even care who don't believe it. Like, I have been uploading for too long. I've had my spiritual gifts from God for too long to be persuaded, and to be contorted and deceived. I've been doing this for too long, guys. Too long, far too long. And think about that. Think about that. Why they're not questioning why she has not been over there. And this whole weird thing about the kids. The kids are kids. Kids are going to be kids. If we want to go back to Diana, when Diana had to do her royal tours and all this stuff, she carried her sons. So I don't want to hear any excuses. All the other royals, Princess Anne, Princess Diana, Princess Catherine, they've all carried, even Prince George, they've carried their sons and daughters on tour. So I don't want to hear the excuses. Don't tell me that Harry cannot get on a plane, any plane he wants, any cost he wants, and put those kids on it and have his family go back over there and send prayers to Catherine's room and to Charles's room and be a family. Don't tell me that's not possible. Don't tell me that, because I know you're lying. If you tell me that, security, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, because when the Queen passed away, when Prince Philip was ailing and ill and was dying simultaneously, the same time that the Oprah interview was launched, was a complete, once again, spiritual attack. Okay, spiritual attack. He was able to go over there then. So was Charles. I mean, guys, these are royals, earthly royals, not spiritual, earthly. And they can do that. They can do that. So enough with the excuses. Enough with the excuses. Harry has every ability to go on a plane with his children, with his wife, and make things right. But it's telling to me that it's just him. You notice how it's always just him. It's never the kids. It's never Meghan or Rachel. It's just him. But they are supposed to be a family, an entity, a close-knit family. Your daughters, your son, your wife. They're supposed to be able to see their aunt, guys. I mean, come on, think about it. Those kids haven't seen their aunt. Those kids haven't seen their aunt or their grandfather. Isn't that strange to you? It's strange to me. I find it strange. I'm not saying she has to kiss Catherine's feet or kiss Charles's feet. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying she needs to kiss ass. What I'm saying is, this is your family. And that has always been my humble stance about the Oprah interview, is certain things you don't give the enemy territory over. Because once you open a door for the enemy and evil forces to attack your family, and you're saying, go attack them because they betrayed me, you are the ultimate traitor. That's treason in their language, but you're not a good person at that point, because no matter what someone does to you, you give it to God. You don't take it up in your own hands. AKA black magic, AKA voodoo, AKA Santeria, AKA, you don't do that, guys. It's evil. Understand it's evil. So I've already covered that topic. The message stands. I had a dream. If you guys haven't seen that video, it's on my community tab and it's in my playlist, and I will do my best to link all those videos in the description box below. I already covered all that, what I've seen, guys. Believe it if you want, believe it if you don't want. Doesn't make any difference to me. Doesn't make any difference to me. It's wrong. It's wrong. And if that is the situation, once again, I'm giving, if we're giving Buckingham Palace benefit of the doubt, people should be clamoring around her with good wishes and good intent, with flowers and love and hugs and kisses and prayers. If she's not getting that, something's wrong. And that's the point that I'm making. Harry is bitter. Harry harbors a lot of unforgiveness. And now, and I don't really want to say this, but I've come across things that I'm not going to confirm because I wasn't there. We were not there. And there's been things I've come across, people saying how William has temper issues. And, you know, every so often there's been these accounts that Williams put his hands on people. I don't know if that's true or not, guys, but I'm going to bring it up because the bruises and what's been happening, something's off. And I hope it's not true. I hope that he has not inherited that demon of violence and abuse and adulterous behavior, because Charles did that. Charles did it all, and no one's denied that. Not even he's denied that. Charles has openly was having an affair while he was married with his mistress. And no matter what Camilla says, that's how we know of you. Just like with Kim Kardashian, no matter what Kim Kardashian does, you go back to the origin. The origin is what? The sex tape. And that's how the evil forces get a person's soul, because they tag along this negative entity. And if you want to have a renewed life, it's best to get rid of that. Your whorish ways, your alcoholism, your addiction, your lying tongue. You want to get rid of that, because if not, it does manifest, guys. It does manifest in different ways. And as I'm saying this, I'm going back to that video when Catherine was in a turquoise dress. I believe it was a king, queen of Denmark or Sweden. It was some gala event. This was sometime at the end of 2023. We're in 2024, March now, March 1st, Friday, 6:26 p.m. And she looked so skinny, and not just skinny, thin, thin spoke. No, she looked ill, guys. She looked ill. And as I said earlier, sickness only comes when you're at disease. When you're not calm in your soul and your spirit. You only get sick because your conscience is guilty, or, you're thinking negative thoughts, or you've done harm to somebody, or you're gossiping. You're only going to get sick if something's not in alignment. You don't get sickness for being happy. You don't get sickness for being healthy, for eating the right vegetables and fruits and fasting. You don't get sick off of that, guys. You only get sick when something you've digested or what you said is negative, is toxic, and you're going against the will of a higher power. So listen, if this is taken as gossip, may God forgive us. I felt led to share my opinion because I've been waiting, and I really wanted to see what people would think. I didn't want to jump forward without knowing or getting a clue about what is really going on. What we need is Catherine to speak her mind. And if there's anything that anybody, whether in the media, going all the way back when she was first dating William, and they would call her Katie Waity. A lot of Meghan fans don't know that. She was surrounded and harassed by the paparazzi, special occasions like her birthday, his birthday. She was hounded like any other princess in waiting, if you will. And I would like for that human side to be shown with Catherine. I would like for her to return to who she was, because for many, many years now, I've suspected and felt that she's lost somewhere. And the true essence and joy of who Catherine Middleton really is has gone somewhere. It's been taken from her, guys. It's gone somewhere. And you could say she's been institutionalized. She has been groomed to lose her personality. And I'm not the only one to say that. Many people have said, where's her personality? Where is her soul? Where is her essence? Where's her vibration? Where is her vigor? She's like she's like a corpse. And it's not just now I'm saying this. I mean, now I'm saying it out loud, but I'm saying it's not the first time that I've picked it up, and why? Because once again, we don't want to draw negative attention. I'm only addressing this now because it's got to an escalation point that cannot be denied. And we want answers, and we want the truth, and we want to know why there is bruises all over William's neck. And we want to know, what's happening with Megan's kids. We want to know what's going on with these children. And we want to know why Andrew's not in prison. We want to know a lot of things, guys. We want to know a lot of things, and more importantly, we want to know, is she okay? Is she really okay? Is she able to sleep at night? Is she able to be at peace? Because, the houses and stuff they live in is quite old, and if they don't sage, if they don't cleanse, if they don't, pray and put holy oil and things on those houses, there's a lot of spirits walking around, because they got all these dead people on the wall. Even at Kensington Palace, there's even parts of Kensington people can go and view, and it's archaic. And you don't know what energy or what spirit those people on the wall are carrying. So imagine, you're sleeping in an old house. This is almost the same close quarters where Diana lived, and now she's gone, and she was gone young. It's eerie. It's creepy. It is creepy, guys. And, maybe this is just a tipping point, and once again, we're not gossiping. I'm saying, what if it's all come to a crescendo, and there could have been something, right? There could have been something that she saw, that perhaps she wasn't supposed to see. Or there was some signal that she wanted to leave and they would not allow it. Okay? That is also a possibility. So we need Catherine. We need people who really care about these women in the royal family, because the women in the royal family have been spiritually attacked. I can say that. Plain as Jane. The women that are in the royal family are heavily spiritually attacked. And that video that I made, 2 years ago, the warning dream with Meghan and all that, I said in that video that Catherine is a heavy target. And it's gonna have to be, guys, God-fearing people that genuinely love her and want to lift her up in a time of crisis. And if all she has is these men in gray suits and God knows what else are, surrounding her, encircling her, tormenting her, she's in trouble. So, off camera, if I feel led, it doesn't hurt to say a prayer and hope that she is not being, that no foul play by any hand here is hurting her, because we don't know if there's something that like, as Pierce said, has gone wrong and they're trying to cover it up, which is what people are feeling. We don't know. We only have, the love in our hearts for humanity the way God has for us. We only have, the purity of sound mind and heart to hope for the best. And I would hope that everybody watching this video would hope that they are not in darkness, because, that is not a good place to be. And especially if you can't get out. And if you've heard accounts and people who've gone to hell and all these type of things, you can't get out. And there's a way in which in your own walking everyday life that you are having hell on earth. Just like you have heaven on earth, you are having hell on earth. And you may say, Simone, how do you do that? Well, you do that by your behavior. You do this by your choices. You do this by what you think, what you say. If all you're doing is just negative, you're backbiting, you're scamming, you're lying, you're betraying people, and you're not repenting, okay, that's how you live hell on earth. That's how you have a bad life. And so this is not just something that applies to the royal family. This applies to us all. This applies to us all. And it's hard, and I sympathize with Harry. It's hard when you feel so convicted that something has been done wrong to you. But there is power, right? There is power in trying not to be God. There is power in you forgiving. It takes more courage to forgive than it does to go to some witch doctor and put a hex on a person, or even worse, a death spell. It takes more courage to wish somebody who's done you bad well, and it takes more strength to walk away with your head held high and to not harbor that evilness in your heart because of what someone did to you. It takes more strength, guys, than you would know. So if you're really a strong vessel, you're a really strong soul, you're a really strong person, you don't carry that in your heart. See, strength is not in the muscle. Strength is not in weightlifting. Strength is the kind of strength I'm talking about is not in the gym. You understand? It's in the heart. And it takes more courage. I'm speaking about Harry now. Okay, I'm speaking for Harry now, spiritually, spiritual principle. It takes more courage to forgive. And it takes more courage and more strength to walk away and say, I'm no longer going to drink. I'm no longer going to sin. I'm no longer going to curse my family. I'm no longer going to gossip, which is what he did. I am no longer going to accept invitations from these news networks to trash my family. It takes more strength, guys. It takes a strong person to hold back those tears and to be forthright and upstanding and say, I'm not going to hate back. I'm going to choose to let them go and love instead. That is real strength, is when you can stand in that enemy's face and say, I'm not going to return the evil you've done to me. I'm going to let God handle you, but not just that. I'm going to love on you. I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to turn that cheek, and I'm going to focus on what is actually pure and lovely and whole in my life. It reminds me of the quote that Kate Middleton's brother did a Bible reading at the wedding. I don't know if anybody remember. I remember this very well. At Catherine and William's wedding, her brother was invited to speak between the music and all the orchestra and stuff. And he spoke about that. He spoke about focusing on what is good and lovely and pure. And so they need to live that. We all need to live that. Turn the other cheek. Do not repay evil for evil. If someone puts a hex on you, you don't put a hex back, because darkness and darkness cannot be light. You don't do that. You stay away from that. Okay? So that's why I say what I say, because I've seen it in the spiritual realm that Harry and Meghan are deep into that. Because why? They're bitter. They're bitter. And don't think that those visitations to those witch doctors and everything else hasn't began to manifest, because it has. That's also a part of this, guys, that I, now is, end of the video, bringing this into full circle. Don't think that those payments that they've made have not began to manifest, because they have. That is a part of this, guys. The sickness, the death, that is a part of what's happening right now. Because once you've paid a person to put something on somebody and to destroy someone's character, destroy some reputation, to hurt someone, okay, and it's evil. It's obviously evil. Depending upon how it was done, especially, it's going to manifest. Especially if they don't have spiritual protection, it's going to manifest. That's why I'm saying Catherine needs some serious people around her that are sending her love and light, that are praying for her protection. So, God, we cover Catherine. We cover Catherine in your grace. We cover her children. We cover her mind. Any tormenting spirit, we rebuke it right now. Any sickness in her body, we rebuke it right now. Because that's what the devil wants. He wants to see this family torn from the inside out. That's what he wants. And the point that I'm making is Harry should not be allowing it. This is your family. Spiritually stand up and stand tall against the enemy and say, no more. You've taken my mom. You've taken my dad through adultery, fornication. Where is the spiritual fortitude, guys? If you want to take it a step further, people talking about, the spiritual authority in a house. Well, what kind of spiritual authority does Harry have? And from whom? Because it's open season over there, guys. You can only be attacked if you're not protected. And this is a part of spiritual warfare and spiritualism and everything else that people don't want to talk about. You cannot be attacked if you are in the alignment of positivity. And you have planted nothing but good seeds. And in your heart, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, your heart is fixated right and in the right place. If your heart is fixated in the right place at the right time, in the right alignment, no harm can come near you, guys. No harm can come near you. Anybody can try anything, but it's not going to prevail. You understand what I'm saying? It's only going to prevail if you're living in darkness already. So I want to say this before I go. If there's any of you out here where you're constantly sick, or maybe in your family there is a repeated curse, generational curse that you pick up on, you need to rebuke that, okay? And do protection work, because the thing is that you have to be spiritually strong. Like I said, not physically, not just physically strong, guys. You have to be spiritually strong, okay? So I am wishing, genuinely, I am wishing Catherine and her family and her children all the best. Let's take race out of it. Let's take status out of it. Let's take money out of it. Let's take fame out of it. Let's take prestige out of it. Let's take titles out of it. This is a soul we're talking about. This is a soul that we are talking about. And that's what they don't understand, is they're going by the flesh. Because why? When you live by the flesh, the wages of sin is death. And if every human on this planet understood what that means, they would live differently. Because when you really meditate on that word, guys, you can't go out in the world seeking to harm people, seeking to steal from people, seeking to manipulate people. It's impossible. If you really understand at a soul level what that word means in its essence, you cannot think of any of your relatives and wish them harm. You can't do it. It's impossible. It's impossible. Why? Because God's love is in your heart and you want the best for people. I may not agree with certain behavior, but I still want the best for Meghan and Harry. And that's in my heart. And that's why I'm still blessed. And that's why I continue to be blessed. And that's why um, I'm very watchful what I say. Because we're all in the same playing field, guys. Them having a title of prince and princess, forget that. We are all souls, or some people just have spirits, but we are all at its essence. We have a spiritual component to us in this fleshly body, right? And so it's spiritual warfare. And that's the part that people, the secular media, either doesn't know or will not speak on. But we know, you and I know, people out here that are like-minded, that are spiritually attuned, we know what's going on. It's an attack, and there is such a thing as marriages being attacked, especially amongst so-called Christian circles. This is something that the church will speak on, is when a marriage is whole and happy and the kids are healthy and everything's going well, the business is flourishing, and then all of a sudden here comes a viper, a Jezebel, a mistress, a lover. Why? Because it's spiritual warfare, guys. If you're having issues in your marriage, and this is a person that is your divine partner, there should be no adulteration. There should be no fornication. There should be no lying. There should be none of that, guys. It doesn't exist. When your relationship is divine, I repeat, when your relationship is divine and blessed by the Almighty God and is in alignment with your destiny and your purpose and plan on this planet, that will not even come into your mind. It's not going to be a predominant thing. Cheating, all right? Cheating on your spouse should not be a predominant thing if you guys are bound by the love of God and this is your divine partner that God has picked for you and given to you. That should never happen. If it does happen, well, we all sin and come short of the glory of God. That's why you call forgiveness. That's why you call it change behavior. Not just saying you're sorry out of your mouth, but your behavior is your apology. Your behavior is your apology. So they're dealing with principalities. They are dealing with strongholds and principalities and generational curses, to put it plainly. After all I've said, that's what it comes down to, guys. Okay, it's a spiritual warfare. And, Catherine don't just need, the Church of England. She needs people who are interceding. She needs people who can wrap her kids in prayer. She needs people who are speaking life into her body. God forbid that this is what has happened, or coma, whatever else. She needs people who are speaking life into her, not death. And the media and the haters, they all have no problem doing that. As you can see, they have no problem speaking death and proclaiming death when we have no idea. You see what I'm saying? So that's the message, guys. That's what I felt led to say. May God have mercy on them, because, even in holy texts, it speaks to kings and queens that have been given territories, have been given land, have been given power. And their job as kings or queens or prince or princesses is not to make a mockery of God. That is not what they're supposed to be doing. And any country, any commonwealth, any nation that goes against that will be cursed, is susceptible to violence, poverty, you name it. Why do you think America's in the dumps? Because what do they worship over here? They worship money. They worship sex. They worship pornography. They worship addiction. Look at the soil. Look at the soil. Look at the soil. Look at the seeds planted in the soil. Look at what is harvesting. Look at it. A prosperous nation, a prosperous country, a prosperous land doesn't have these issues, which means this could be a form of a generational curse. Or want to take it scientifically? Okay, this runs in the family. I've heard royal commentators say, oh, it just runs in the family. Just cancer just runs in the family. You see their perspective, you see how they think. They're not even taking into account that is a familiar spirit. That is a door that somewhere along the line has been opened and has not been shut because it's passed from Fergie to Charles. And we don't even know if Catherine, we don't even know what they found on that operating table. Will they tell us? We don't know. We don't know. But I advise you guys in these very dark times, to go back to faith. Excuse me. Go back to in here, your heart. Your heart. And don't just see things with physical eyes, physical perspective, secular perspective. Because remember, we are all humans in this realm, but we are all spiritual, having a human experience. The body cannot function without a spirit or a soul. That is a fact. Unless they're highly dark. Okay. And even then, they wouldn't last long. Because why? The wages of sin is death. So this is why people in certain circles, Hollywood even, not everybody in Hollywood is like that. Obviously now there's been some, Cillian Murphy is Irish and he's nominated for a Best Actor award for Oppenheimer. Fabulous film, amazing film. And he was raised in the Catholic faith and he's a man of family and value and virtue. And there's a couple good ones left, guys. There's still a couple good people left that are in these pockets of power that are trying to shift, right? Trying to shift the perspective. And we have to protect them because there's not many men or women in these type of circles that are doing the right thing. And I hate to burst people's bubble, but think about it. There's not many people that are so-called popular on a high level that really live for the right reasons and are doing the right thing. They may have all this money. They may have all this so-called prestige or clout or whatever else there is. But what are they doing for the community? What are they really doing? And is it enough? Is it on the scale that it should be? Or are they being silenced? Are they being held back? Are they being manipulated? So yes, it's important, guys, that these people that we admire, whether in film or music or the royal family or whatever, whenever you see people that have influence, we have to protect and we have to keep praying that the light will be shown. Because if not, influence is power. I understand that. So we have to have more good examples than bad. I'll put it that way. All right. Love you all. God bless. I really hope that you don't just hear this as entertainment, but you really take the spiritual lessons and information I'm giving you as a token, and you hold it with gratitude and you apply it to your life. I'm not just speaking to you for you to just blow it off in the wind. Look at your own life. Look at your own family tree. Look at your own ancestry and begin to do the hard work, because if not, you see, this is why we have the Windsor family in disarray. So God rest Thomas's soul, wherever he shall be, whatever his fate is. It looks like a setup to me, and regardless if it's foul play or not, healthy individuals don't do those type of things. There's a thing called party drugs, but I'm saying people that are genuinely whole, they don't hurt themselves. They don't try to hurt themselves. And if they do, they change their ways. They repent. They try to get help, seek help, rehab, whatever. They try to change. So if you know people that need help, or anybody in your family, your friends, whatever, send them this video. Maybe a little gemstone here for them, to get free. And listen, we have to cover the people in power, and we have to understand that there is a light and a dark, and to deny that is foolish. We're seeing mass carnage. We're seeing mass amounts of children being slaughtered. Don't tell me that evil doesn't exist. Don't tell me that evil doesn't exist, because it does, guys. It does. And the more we try to suppress it and hide it and not bring it into condemnation, we are then therefore reinforcing the dark. And we have to stop doing that. Matter, not political, I'm saying in general. Wherever there is carnage, there is evil. Because death is not life. They don't coexist. So one is completely different than the other. So I still pray for all of you that God will keep you in perfect peace, and that whatever is going on with Catherine and that family, I'm asking God to intervene, and I'm asking all of you to pray for her protection, because we don't know if there's rituals. I remember back then when Megan was first getting into this family, and I saw a reading long time ago, probably at least 3 years ago now. And the lady was saying how, there was rituals with Megan's name on it. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm trying to say? And this is what they do. Why? Because they're in the dark, guys. They think they're all powerful. They've twisted their power. They've twisted their influence. They've twisted things for their gain, but negatively, not positively, negatively. This is what these people do that are so-called rappers, the bad rappers, that put subliminals in the background of these songs, and all they rap about is fornication and drug abuse and so on and so forth. You think that's coming from a good place? It's not. That's why you can't listen to stuff like that, because there's a spirit operating that is dark. Okay? Dark and light is not the same. It's not the same. No matter how we try to code it and sugarcoat it, it's not the same. It never will be, guys. So understand that there is a fight for Catherine's soul. And it's not just about religion. It's about what you believe. What you believe in here, your heart. How do you see the world? How do you see yourself? Right? That's what it's about. And there's a battle for that lady's soul. That I can assure you. There is a battle for Catherine's soul. And we have to be mindful of that the enemy wants to have Diana with another Diana with Megan, another Diana with Fergie, another Diana with Kat. The same spirit is operating, is hovering around this family, guys. And that's the reality. And until they look at that and fix that, it's not going to change. It's going to get worse. Okay. So once again, guys, have a great afternoon, morning, noon, night when you're watching this video. Share the video if you want, what I'm saying, with good and pure intent. Just my opinion, my humble opinion. And I don't want us to lose sight of the spiritual aspect, because that is the core of this all. Because once again, sickness and death cannot reside in the light. It can't. It can't. So think about that. Think about what is really going on when more than one member of the family is either dropping dead, gravely ill, losing money, or in sin. Think about that. Think about that. So there has to be a complete overhaul of that family's lineage, ties, behavior, and that goes for the whole world. Okay? Thank you all for watching. Feel free to check out the links in the box below. Subscribe, thumbs up. Thumbsing up really, really, really shows me that you are one accord and that you approve this message and that you want this to get out here, you know, and that you acknowledge, maybe even for your own life, the message that was departed here today to help you in your own life. Because at the end of the day, we also have to be responsible for what our own life, our own behavior. So while we talk about celebrities and all this, the mirror is right there, you know, and that's what I say to you all. We got bigger fish to fry. We got bigger battles to win. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning, guys. I love you all. Take care. God bless. Bye.